Greetings, aloha. This is Dr. Matt. I wanted to do a minute with Dr. Matt, and in truth, might be like 3 or 4 minutes. But there's 3 things I'd like to cover. First thing is this. First thing is the body is self-healing and self-regulating. And so what does that mean? That is a chiropractic principle. And so when I first found this profession, I heard that and it resonated deeply. It resonated deeply with me. It's something I always kind of knew, but little did I know that this was my calling. So the body is self-healing, self-regulating. So I want to share what that means to me, that there are so many processes that are happening in your body that are regulating, keeping you awake, helping you sleep, digesting food, eliminating waste. Your body is doing all these things for you, so self-regulating. When we get injured, so I play soccer on Saturday at a soccer game, and I bruised my heel, like really bad, like to the point where I couldn't really put weight on it on Sunday. And so I was careful to use ice and use the remedies and the techniques that I knew what to do. And by today, Tuesday, I can put weight, I can put pressure on that heel. It is self-healing. The body knows how to heal. It's just a matter of us doing the things to help facilitate healing. So body is self-healing, self-regulating. Number 2 is learning about your body builds trust. So learning about your body's processes build trust. And if that's true, then the opposite is also true. Not knowing about your body contributes to fear and maybe mistrust. And here's something that I see. I've been doing this now for 20 plus years. And I have observed that we in general, the great we, are afraid of our bodies. We are afraid of pain. We see drug commercials. We see all this stuff out there. And the first question is like, ooh, do I have that? Or we have migraine headaches or pain that maybe hasn't gone away by itself. It is, if we don't know what's causing that pain, if we don't understand the process, it is fear. And so learning about your bodies, learning about our body is important to build trust. And when we can totally trust our body that it knows how to heal and regulate, we are in a better spot. So some of you may know, most of you probably don't know, and most of you probably don't even care, but I am a high school teacher. So I teach 1 class period a day at a local charter school, and it is a privilege. I work with juniors and seniors, and I teach anatomy and physiology. So my number 1 goal, like we teach about the central nervous system, we teach about the cardiovascular system, muscles, skeleton, digestion, absorption, all these things. So these are the topics that we cover, that I cover in class. But the one objective that I want with each one of my scholars is I want them to learn about their bodies. I want them to learn to trust their bodies. Whether they remember the name of levator scapula, whether they know the enzyme of pepsin that helps digest protein in your stomach, that is almost inconsequential. What I want them to understand is that their body's processes, there's organ systems, and all these systems work together to regulate and to repair. And so this is an important thing. So knowing about your body, learning about your body builds trust. So I feel like at heart, I'm an educator. And so many of you had the opportunity to be with me. And as I work through your body, I'm also describing, here's what's happening. We call it the pathophysiology. So the physiology of how things go wrong. And I'll share this just briefly. An example is I've had, and this is like countless times, I've had patients come into the office with hip pain or neck pain or headaches or digestive issues, you name it. And they've had it for months and months and some longer. And they've been to various practitioners. They'd have imaging. They've done stuff, and nothing really has been revealing. And they come in and they ask me, Doc, is this cancer, or is this a tumor, or is this like am I going to live with this for the rest of my life? And when we don't have understanding, we fill that gap of understanding with story. And so my goal is to close that gap of understanding. And as we understand what's happening, the pain could still be there, the imbalance could still be there, but as we understand it, it helps the nervous system go from fight or flight, uncertainty, back into certainty. And when the body is in a state of balance, this is when healing occurs. Fight or fight, rest and digest and repair. Rest or digest and repair. These two systems must need to be in balance. When the body is in a rest or digest and repair mode, this is when it repairs itself. This is when it heals. So final point is I want to just emphasize the importance of lab work. So doing blood work. We traditionally do it every year. A lot of the high performers that I work with do it twice a year. But the importance of doing blood work. And blood work is really important, but I'll add this piece, and I think you know this already, but I'll add this piece. It's actually the interpretation of that blood work is what's most important. My wife recently, and I don't know the doctor, so I can totally shoot from the hip and not denigrate anybody, but my wife recently had blood work done, and we're careful in our home. I'm not Dr. Matt. In fact, very rarely am I Dr. Matt inside my home. It's just a boundary we've learned to maintain. It's been a 22-year tricky thing to figure out. But so she goes and sees her doctor, gets blood work. We got a bill back for $709 for her blood work. And I look at what blood work is done, and it is really shoddy blood work. It is a third of what I order and what we look at. So that's what's disappointing. And then I asked my wife, what about how they interpret it, what they say? And essentially, nothing was interpreted. They essentially told her, we'll call if there's a problem. And I think that's garbage. I think that's hot garbage. So blood work without interpretation is worthless. And so here's what I suggest is you get blood work, and you should probably get blood work done with me, or some real competent person who knows how to interpret for you. So I have a holistic lens, I use software, and I have now background of, I've seen thousands of blood work in my time. Never once have I seen perfect blood work. Let's be honest about that. I've never once seen perfect blood work, but the holistic lens that I'm afforded to look through, we find problems, we find imbalances long before they become problems. So the preventative nature that we can look through is vital. With anything that's outside of what we call a healthy range, I'll make strategy sessions with you. During this strategy session, I'll make recommendations of taking, XYZ supplement perhaps. But typically it's lifestyle changes. Oftentimes has to do with more hydration, using electrolytes, getting sleep, hygiene, tidied up, using exercise. There are lifestyle changes that we can do, and here's what's cool. And maybe some of you are like me, maybe some are not, but I'm a total nerd with the numbers. It's easy for me to do a thing when I know why I'm doing it. So if I'm taking a supplement and I know why I'm taking it, that's easier for me to do. If I'm working out on a daily basis and I know, oh, here's the objective, and I can measure that objective 3 months from now, 6 months from now, this makes it so much easier. So we not only look at blood work, we strategize, we connect it to the proper nutrition and lifestyle changes, and we do it with an observable outcome in mind. And in 6 months, numbers don't lie, we will see improvements. So along the way, people do sleep better, they're more regularly going to the restroom, they're craving less food. Oftentimes, the body fat composition is shifting. So these are outward noticeable changes, but then the numbers. We see the numbers again in 6 months, and numbers don't lie. So this is how you use blood work to be proactive. And so if you've not done that, if you don't have a practitioner that's doing that with you, then let's do it together. This would be my privilege. I'm signing off. Minute with Dr. Matt. See you next time.